Hello, my dear learners! Today, we are going to learn and enjoy our new lesson in English. But before we begin, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell for you to be updated on the video lesson that I'm going to upload weekly. Thank you! In this video lesson, we are going to discuss the other two kinds of nouns, the mass and the count nouns. Before we discuss the definitions of mass nouns and count nouns, let's have first the definition of nouns. Nouns are names of persons, places, things, animals, ideas, and events. Just like what I said on my previous video lesson, the keyword for nouns is names. Again, nouns are names of persons, places, things, animals, ideas, and events. On my previous video lesson, I discussed to you the first two kinds of nouns. The first one is the proper nouns, and the second one is the common nouns. Proper nouns give exact or specific names of persons, places, things, animals, and events. Their initial letters should be capitalized. On the other hand, common nouns give general names of persons, places, things, animals, and events. Their initial letters should not be capitalized unless they start the sentence. Here are the examples of proper nouns. Maria, for specific or exact name of a person. Philippines, for specific or exact name of a place. Barbie, for specific or exact name of a thing. Christmas, for specific or exact name of an event. And brownie, for specific or exact name of an animal. Here are the examples of common nouns. Girl, for general name of a person. Country, for a general name of a place. Toy, for a general name of a thing. Holiday, for a general name of an event. And dog, for a general name of an animal. For more examples and activities, please watch my previous video lesson about proper and common nouns. Now, let's proceed on the other two kinds of nouns. Alright, so the third kind of nouns is the mass nouns. And the fourth kind of nouns is the count nouns. Let's first discuss mass nouns. Mass nouns refer to things or ideas which cannot be counted. They only have one form. Mass nouns do not have their plural form. They can be measured using counters or quantifiers. These are the following examples of mass nouns. The first one is sand. We cannot count sand, that is why it is a mass noun. Another example is sugar. Just like sand, we cannot also count sugar. That is why it is a mass noun. As what you have noticed, these two examples are solid substances. Another example is water. We cannot count water. That is why it is a mass noun. Another example is milk. Just like water, we cannot count milk. That is why it is a mass noun. And these two examples are liquid substances. Now let's have another examples of mass nouns referring to things. Solid substances. These are salt, rice, and bread. These three examples cannot be counted. That is why they are mass nouns. Here now are the following examples of mass nouns for liquid substances. The first one is juice. The second one is coffee. And the last one is vinegar. These are some of the liquid substances that we cannot count. That is why they are mass nouns. Mass nouns refer to things or ideas which cannot be counted. However, they can be measured using counters or quantifiers. Here are the following examples of counters or quantifiers used for liquid substances. Cap off, just like in a cup of tea. Glass off, just like in a glass of water. Bottle off, just like in a bottle of soy sauce. Carton off, just like in a carton of milk. Other examples of counters or quantifiers used for liquid substances are can off, just like in a can of soda. Jar off, just like in a jar of honey. Liter off, just like in a liter of oil. Bowl off, just like in a bowl of soup. Container off, just like in a container of gasoline. And tablespoon off, just like in a tablespoon of soy sauce. Okay, now let's proceed on the examples of counters or quantifiers used for solid substances. The first one is loaf of, just like a loaf of bread. Bowl of, just like a bowl of rice. Box of, just like a box of cereal. Slice of, just like a slice of cheese. Kilo of, just like a kilo of meat. Bar of, just like a bar of chocolate. Other examples of counters or quantifiers used for solid substances are pile of, just like in a pile of wood. Sack of, just like in a sack of cement. Truckload of, just like in a truckload of sand. Ear of, just like in an ear of corn. Bar of, just like in a bar of soap. And clove of, just like in a clove of garlic. Some of you, my dear learners, are asking if there are counters or quantifiers that we can use for both liquid and solid substances. The answer for that question is yes. Here are the examples of counters or quantifiers that we can both use for solid and liquid substances. The first one is cup of, just like a cup of coffee or a cup of rice. Tablespoon of, just like a tablespoon of fish sauce or a tablespoon of sugar. Can of, just like a can of beer or a can of meatloaf. Teaspoon of, just like a teaspoon of vinegar or a teaspoon of salt. Spoonful of, just like a spoonful of oyster sauce or a spoonful of black pepper. And box of, just like a box of juice or a box of soap. Other examples of counters or quantifiers that can be both used for solid and liquid substances are a lot of, more, any, less, little, and much. We are now done with the different examples of mass nouns, solid and liquid substances, together with their counters or quantifiers. Now, let's use mass nouns in sentences. The first example of sentence. Joy broke a bottle of wine. What do you think is the counter or quantifier in the sentence? Good job. It's bottle of. And what do you think is the mass noun being measured by bottle of? Great. It's wine. Second sentence. She needs 2 sacks of rice to feed them. What do you think is the counter or quantifier in the sentence? Good job again. It's sacks of. And what do you think is the mass noun being measured by sacks of? Of course, it's rice. Mass nouns only have one form, and that is the singular form, meaning we can't have their plural form. However, we can have the plural form of their counters or quantifiers. In this example of sentence, we have the plural form of the quantifier sack of, which is sacks of. Third sentence. The chef put too much salt on the food. What do you think is the counter or quantifier in the sentence? Great, it's much. What is the mass noun being measured by much? Good job, it's salt. Again, mass nouns only have one form, and that is the singular form. We cannot have their plural form. We can only have the plural form of their counters or quantifiers. These are the other examples of mass nouns which do not have plural form. The first one is furniture. Do not say furnitures. Simply furniture. The next example is luggage. Do not say luggages. Simply luggage. The third example is equipment. Do not say equipments. Simply equipment. The fourth one is homework. Do not say homeworks. Simply homework. And the last is money. Do not say monies, simply money. So what are the quantifiers or counters that we can use to furniture, luggage, money, homework, and equipment? Here are the quantifiers. We can use a piece of furniture, some furniture, a lot of homework, some luggage, lots of money, and some equipment. Now, let's proceed on mass nouns referring to ideas. These are advice, information, patience, evidence, and time. Again, mass nouns only do have one form, and that is the singular form. So just like furniture, okay, luggage, homework, money, and equipment. These examples of mass nouns referring to ideas only have singular form. So do not say advices, but simply advice. Do not say informations, but simply information. Do not say patiences, but simply patience. Do not say evidences, but simply evidence. Do not say times, but simply time. So what are the examples of quantifiers that we can use for these mass nouns? So we have a piece of advice, a piece of information, or simply piece of information, a lot of patience, some evidence, and little time. Do you have questions about mass nouns? If yes, please type down your questions on the comment box, and I will be glad in answering those questions. Now, let's move on the fourth kind of nouns, which is the count nouns. Count nouns refer to nouns which can be counted. It could be a person, an animal, a thing, or a place. They may be singular or plural. These are the following examples of count nouns. So we do have students or simply student. We have school or schools. We have table or tables. We also have television or televisions, bags or bag, and we have tiger or tigers. Again, count nouns refer to nouns which can be counted, and they may be singular or plural. There are counters or quantifiers that we can use in count nouns, and these are a lot of, like a lot of teenagers, how many or many, like how many pens or many pens, some, like some dogs, and few, like few houses. Let's now use count nouns in sentences. The first example, she bought a new bag. What do you think is the count noun in the sentence? Great, it's bag. Second sentence, there are many children playing in the garden. What are the two count nouns in the sentence? Awesome. Children and garden. What do you think now is the quantifier that we used in the sentence? Great, it's many. Third sentence, we went to the hospital. What is the count noun in the sentence? Correct, it's hospital. Before we go to the activity part, let's have first a very quick review on mass nouns and count nouns. Again, mass nouns are nouns that cannot be counted. They only have one form, and that is the singular form. They are also called uncountable. They can be measured by using counters or quantifiers, like bottle of, cup of, kilo of, glass of, liter of, and bowl of. Count nouns, on the other hand, are nouns that can be counted. They can be singular or plural. They are also called countable. There are counters or quantifiers that we can use, like many, a lot of, some, few, several, and any. Now, it's time for our activity. So, I prepared three activities. The first one is easy, the second one is moderate, and the third one is difficult. Each activity consists of 5 items. Are you ready? Okay, so let's begin our activity 1, easy round. All you need to do is to tell if the noun is count or mass. The first item is salt. Is salt a count or a mass noun? Is your answer mass noun? Correct. Good job. Okay, so let's proceed now on our second item for activity 1 easy round, the word teachers. Is that a count noun or a mass noun? Is your answer count noun? Good job, you are correct. The third item for our activity 1 easy round, we have powdered milk. Is that a count noun or a mass noun? All right. Is your answer mass noun or simply mass? Nice one, my dear learners. You are correct. The fourth item for our activity one is around. We have the word perfume. Is that a count noun or a mass noun? Is your answer mass noun? Awesome. You are correct again. Last item for activity one is around. We have the word notebook. Is notebook a count noun or a mass noun? Of course, the answer is count noun. Excellent, my dear learners. Let's have now the activity 2, which is the moderate round. This time, you're going to put a check if the quantifier used for mass noun is correct and a cross if it is not. Again, put a check if the quantifier used for mass noun is correct and a cross if it is not. Item 1. Bottle of water. Alright, of course, this is a correct one. We can use bottle of as the quantifier for water. Good job. Second item for our activity 2 moderate round. Sack of blood. Again, put a check if the quantifier used for mass noun is correct and a cross if it is not. Of course, the answer is cross. Sack of is the quantifier that cannot be used for the mass noun blood. These are the quantifiers that we can use for blood. Drop of blood or bag of blood. Alright, so we have now the third item for activity 2 moderate round. We have scoop of ice cream. Of course, the answer is check. We can use the quantifier scoop of for the mass noun ice cream. We can also use scoops of ice cream if we are referring to more than one scoop. The fourth item for our activity 2 moderate round is less pepper. Less pepper. Correct answer is check. We can use less as the quantifier for mass noun black pepper or simply pepper. The fifth and last item for activity 2 moderate round is many sugar. Many sugar. Of course, the answer is cross. We cannot use many for sugar. Many is quantifier used for count nouns. And what should be the correct quantifier for sugar? It is much sugar. Again, many is quantifier used for count nouns, while much is a quantifier that can be used for mass noun. Great job, my dear learners. You are now done in activity 1 and activity 2. Now, let's have the last activity, which is the difficult round. In this activity, you will encircle the count noun and underline the mass noun. Then, box the quantifier used. You may pause the video in order for you to rewrite the sentences and answer the activity. Once you are done, you may continue playing the video. These are the following sentences. Okay, so let's check your work. For number 1, they brought kilos of chicken. The quantifier used in this sentence is kilos of. And the mass noun being measured by kilos of is chicken. You might be wondering why chicken a mass noun. Because in this sentence, we are referring to the meat of the chicken. That is why chicken is mass noun. Number 2, the woman drinks 3 cups of coffee a day. The quantifier used is cups of, and the mass noun is coffee, being measured by cups of. We also have here 2 count nouns. The first one is woman, and the second one is day. For number 3, we have the quantifier many, and we have the count noun books. For number 4, we have here the quantifier a piece of, or simply piece of. And of course, we also have here the mass noun advice. The fifth one is we have the quantifier few, and we have the count noun students. Good job, my dear learners. So again, good job and congratulations, my dear learners. I hope that you all learned and had fun. See you again on my next video lesson. For the video lesson next week, I will discuss abstract and concrete nouns. Until next week, my dear learners, thank you for watching. And of course, thank you for participating in our activities. Please don't forget to subscribe. Until next week, goodbye, my dear learners. Have a great day ahead.